Now I'm
Or-
secretly recording.
No, I see it.
What was your bank info again? Okay, people, welcome to another Fwoosh 5.
Fwoosh
Fwoosh
5, the
5,
final Fwoosh 5.
the final Fwoosh 5 of 2020. But we're going to call this what? The Fwoosh favorite 5 figures.
Fwoosh favorite 5 figures.
Focus on the word favorite and figures
Yes.
because
These are going to be our favorites, not necessarily the best. And we're only talking about figures this time, right?
yeah. And not necessarily, well, I don't know. They're all great toys to me, but
Yep.
they may not be the best engineered or stuff like that. These are just the ones that pull at the heartstrings.
Yep. And figures too, because it gives me a chance to celebrate a number one action figure in this. But then for the front page, I got something that's not a figure that's going to be my best figure. So dun dun
but
dun.
it's a toy.
It is a toy.
It's
That's
all
correct.
about toys. So we're gonna start this off with our duds,
It
like
does.
something
Yeah.
that didn't really live up to expectations, maybe,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
or let you down.
So, for my dud this year, unfortunately, it comes from a line that I'm actually really enjoying this year, the G.I. Joe Classified Series line. And my dud for the year is Cobra Commander. And the reason for that is because I'm having a great time when I can find them with all of these figures, except for me, design-wise, Cobra Commander, he just misses the mark. He's too busy. He's got too much stuff going on. He's got this cobra symbol on his chest, and then it's covered up by a strap and a chain and all of this other stuff. His mask is kind of crooked and whatnot. I bought all 3 versions, wanting to find one that I thought I would like. None of them really spoke to me.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you got the Regal or if there was a different version you like better, but you're looking at it design wise. I mean,
Yeah,
if it's too
the
busy, it doesn't
Regal,
matter what color it is.
exactly. The Regal one's probably my favorite, except he's got those gold boots, which okay.
For my dud, it's hard to pick because at this point in our collecting lives, we can look at stuff on paper in pictures
Yeah,
and go, I'm not going to like that.
I don't buy stuff that I don't like. Right.
Yeah, exactly. But I was hoping I would like the Figma Space Invaders monster.
Hmm.
And I do like it for the most part, but I don't know if I had too much expectation for it or possibilities in other displays. But once I got it in hand, it was just kind of like it's just some pointy black plastic stuck together with joints. It does nothing for me whatsoever. And I understand the difficulties of articulating something shaped like this, but still, it just, I don't know, it kind of fell flat. It doesn't do much for me. But getting into the actual, okay, we gotta have a runner-up. We call it the Fwoosh 5 plus 1 plus some
Yep.
other stuff.
Hmm.
But for your runner-up,
All right. So for my runner-up, both of these guys made my overall list, but I was really trying to decide over, do I want the Ultimates Toxie or do I want the TMNT Granitor? And I ended up going with Granitor on this simply because when I was a kid, I had the Playmates Toxie. So I've had a Toxie action figure before. I have never had a Granitor figure before ever in my life. And for some reason in the cartoon, he really intrigued me. He was in the video games. I always wanted a figure of Granitor to go along with Trag. I think he's a perfect representation of the cartoon Granitor, and I love him to death. And I hated him not being on the 5, but he's awfully darn close.
did you just swerve in 2 runner-ups? Kinda? You did, didn't you? You snuck
Well, I
Toxie
had
in
to
there.
explain my thought process, right? I mean, I'm not cheating.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait till you see my number 1.
I see how this works. But for
Yeah.
my runner-up, it's more of the idea of the line, but I'm going with the G.I. Joe Classified Series Duke. I'm going to say it.
Great
Spoiler,
figure.
this is my only Classified Series in the top 5. But I
Mm.
wanted to get him in there because, well, it would have been easy to go with Snake Eyes. But Snake Eyes is almost, he's going to be cool. Even when you think, oh, Classified Snake Eyes, without even seeing it, you're, okay, I need to buy that. But it was Duke that convinced me that, oh, I need to go all in with this line. But the reason he slides off the top 5 a bit is because of how hard the line has been to collect this year. We're right on the cusp of the Viper and Firefly hitting target, and that's going to be a nightmare, I think. But looking at Duke, with some modernization, some classic, I like the colors, I like the sculpt. Yeah, Duke is my classified guy. So you want me to start with the top 5 itself?
Yeah. Yeah, but before you do, I want to say we got a number one accessory of the
Oh yeah.
year, and it belongs to the Star Wars Black series Hoth Rebel Trooper, because this guy, even before we knew it was going to be needed, this guy came sporting his mask, and if that's not the most 2020 accessory I think I've ever seen, Hasbro must be to blame for all this, because they knew we would need these masks, and so I couldn't let that go without saying that we got a mask on an action figure in 2020, and it couldn't be more stupidly perfect, I guess.
But for my number 5 pick, and this is going to be, these are my favorite 5 figures, but putting them in an order is really difficult. So they're
Yeah.
just kind of, today, the Marvel Legends movie Deadpool will be at 5. Tomorrow it could be at 2, you know, could be at 1. But I waited a long, long, long time for this figure, and Hasbro nailed it. It has some shortcomings, right? But how much was a 2-pack? It works out to like $20-$25
Yeah.
for a unique sculpt with all kinds of detail, all kinds of articulation, and just the feel of Deadpool from the movie. There was a lot of good Marvel Legends this year.
Yes, there were.
Kang nearly took his place, but Deadpool, near and dear, so I had to go with him for 5.
That's a good pick for you.
Yeah, see, that's very robo-centric.
Robo-centric. Okay, so number 5 for me, I'm going to keep it with Hasbro, but I'm going to jump over to another Hasbro line, Star Wars Black Series. While they had the accessory of the year, they also have the number 5 entry on my list this year. And The Mandalorian has been getting a lot of love this year, and it is well placed and it's well deserved. But let me tell you, these Ewoks, which I have Tebow here, but it goes the same for Paploo from the San Diego Comic Con set. These Ewok figures are they absolutely blow me away. I think they're incredible. And the only thing that I would say that I don't like about them is the fact that there's not an Ewok now in every single series going forward, because I want all of them, because I absolutely love them. And this is my favorite Star Wars Black Series figure of the entire year.
Yeah, because we could name one for every series, right? I mean, Low Grade, Sherpa,
Wicket.
Where's Wicket? Yeah.
Yeah.
For my number 4, I'm going to continue that love because I just so happen to have a Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian Incinerator Trooper. Man, this figure just oozes so much attitude. And from the show, which he should, yeah. This cocky sumbitch walking into the battlefield with a flamethrower, just, yup, I'm the best. Yeah, I needed that in figure form. Plus, I really dig the new sculpt. He moves, he poses, he looks good. And there were a lot of, just like Marvel Legends, there were a lot of good Star Wars Black Series figures this year, but this is the pinnacle for me. This is, well, I could have went with Mandalorian, I guess, but
now we need a buddy series with these two somehow.
yeah. Incinerator Trooper and the Ewok fighting crimes across the galaxy.
I'm glad you came up with something, because I was going to say fighting crimes at a future time, and that's already been taken.
Yeah, I think that's taken.
For number 4, for me, I'm going to swerve off in kind of a different direction and go with the Mezco 112 Collective Popeye Stormy Seas Ahead box set, Bluto.
Is that a mouthful?
That was a mouthful. And I'll tell you, I'm more of an admirer of the 112 Collective line than I am a collector of it. I do have several of the figures, but not a ton of them. But I absolutely adore their Popeye figures, and I hope they continue to make many, many of them. But this Bluto, I like him even better than Popeye, and it's amazing how well and how wide and bulky but muscular he is, which is the perfect take for a quote-unquote more realistic approach to Popeye. As soon as Popeye came out, originally I was like, we've got to get a Bluto now, and it took a while. We finally got him, and he's awesome, and I love him, and I hope to see more Popeyes. I am ready for Wimpy.
And olive oil. Could you imagine a 112th Collective olive oil?
It would be so crazy looking, but it would, it would be perfect with the aesthetic of what they're doing.
What's that bring us to number 3?
That's number 3.
I'm going to have to go with the Medicom Mafex Hush Batman. Mafex still has their problems, but I didn't have any of those problems with this figure. I've been waiting for years for an excellent Batman figure, and that may be most of my reasoning for this pick. This is now my Batman on the shelf. I don't feel like I need another one ever, even though I have the black version of this exact figure pre-ordered. The cape is a bit cumbersome.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and even right now I have it pinned back just for
Ah.
posing on the shelf. When you have it out and you hit that pose, you're like, oh, you can't do that with any other line. The cape, the way it is, yeah, this is all the Batman I ever need.
Right on, right on. Well, okay, so my next choice on here is the surprise. And if you want to chalk it up, I know some people may say it might be recency bias or whatever, but I got some new toys today, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
automatically catapulted onto my best of list, and they actually took the number 3 spot because the Plunderlings, but obviously the one that I'm going to bring out for this is Raider Fwoosh, because he is the best. The Plunderlings, guys, they absolutely killed it with these. They are so well designed. They're engineered well. All the joints work great. They're beautiful in like their simplicity. These guys, it's like pick a head, pick a hat, pick a weapon, and go plunder. You know, I'd seen your look at you know, some of the test shots and whatnot,
I've even got the
even,
test.
yeah,
Right
but
here.
even so, getting it in hand,
Mm-hmm.
he's more substantial, and he's a little bit bigger than what I was thinking. This line is going to be so incredibly fun. I hope that the Kickstarter is just the beginning and they keep doing more and more and more, because I think that probably for the next several days, I'm not going to be able to put these guys down. They are amazing figures.
So that brings us to what, number 2?
Number deuce.
And man, I actually forgot about this one because he's become such a standard in my reviews, in my review space. Hi everybody, it's Beef Boss. Jazzwares with their Fortnite line, it's consistent. Most of the figures have the same articulation. You know what to expect, just in different designs. But
Yep.
some of the designs they picked this year, they're just amazing looking. Just weird, wacky, out of left field. Whoever thought I needed an action figure with a burger for a head, and there's the hot dog and the banana, and all together you just end up with a kick-ass display of food fighting bastards.
Well, I'm like you, and I don't know Fortnite, but Beef
Yeah.
Boss, the Brat, Doggo,
Oh, I forgot about Doggo, Tomato Head,
Fish Stick.
Fish
I mean,
Stick.
those are 4 right there that came out this year that I absolutely adore. Those figures, they are so
Mhm.
much fun, and I hope they make every single food character on in that game, because
Because there's
my
a
only
lot
wish is
more.
that Slushy Soldier would have made it out before the end of the year. I was
Oh,
really looking forward to him
I
too.
actually, somebody tagged me today and he hit Canada. So
Yeah,
hopefully soon I'll go to
yeah.
Walmart because I found 8-ball and reverse skull or inverted skull trooper at Target this week. But when it comes down to the fun factor for this year, I definitely got my money's worth out of Beef Boss. You know what I mean?
I'm going to preface this with saying that not only could my entire top 5, but my entire like top 20 for 2020 could have probably been just Ninja Turtles alone. But for number 2 on mine, it's the Super 7 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates Bebop. We're 2 waves in now that have been released, and I am absolutely in love with this line, giving me exactly what I wanted as far as the action figures I had as a kid, but now just made absolutely incredible with the increased detail, paint, articulation, size. He was really close to being number 1 on this list with what I picked for number 1. But I can't wait for Rocksteady now, because this line is going to be so much fun. I think 2021 is going to be big for Ultimates, and I hope we get every single unique character that came out in the Playmates line in this line.
I haven't had a chance to lay hands upon Wave 2.
Yeah,
In fact, they're at your house.
they are.
I was on a live stream the other day. We were talking about it. Not only do they give, nice new toys that are based on the original toys, it almost seems like they've grown with us.
Mm-hmm.
They're larger size for our larger size
Yeah.
compared to the smaller size we were back then playing with the smaller size figures.
Having him gigantic in this line, I think it's perfect.
That brings us to number 1, which is
Yep.
1 is the most difficult number. It's the loneliest number too, but it's really difficult to choose the number 1 out of all the toys that came out this year. At gunpoint, I was forced to make a choice. I would go with the Bandai SH Figuarts Mandalorian IG-11. And it may half be waiting all these years to get a good IG toy in general,
But that
but
toy is fun.
still, this thing, it's detailed, the paint on it, the different colors, the patinas, the articulation for a thin, spindly robot.
His
It's
head
just
shape,
amazing.
his head shape is correct.
There's so many options. There's possibilities. The hips could be a little bit better for sitting upon speedy things, but it wasn't made for that. It was made to stand there looking like a badass. It's made to pose. It's made for pictures.
He made my overall list as well. And for Bandai Star Wars, the releases have gone, to me, way down. And there have been a couple of
Yeah,
not so great ones as of late, but that one is fantastic.
totally redeemed themselves.
That's a good pick for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
it's way better than
All
your
right.
number one. What you got for number one? Oh, you look at me.
Well, you're gonna call me out anyway because I'm probably cheating a little bit with this as well, since it's a 2-pack, and you really can't have one without the other. And I said it was gonna be TMNT. Had to pick one, even though I like Razar as a character better. I would pick Toka as the better figure, because let me tell you, even though I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles so much, I absolutely hate the Secret of the Ooze movie. I despise it. I didn't even like it as a kid. But these two guys were designed really well, and they have cool designs. And the figures have captured that perfectly. And these are not only some of the most detailed Ninja Turtle figures that we have gotten so far, but their articulation is actually really, really nice and really fluid, and it holds up well for such big, bulky figures. I mean, that's awesome. Razar's got real chains on him. Toka's eyebrows are articulated.
That was almost the kicker for me. I passed on those, but when I saw the articulated face, I was like,
we pick our favorites, but the fact that these guys won me over based off of a piece of Ninja Turtles history that I'm not really fond of, that to me makes them even better. And they're just beautiful, hideously beautiful figures.
We talked about just doing a top 5, and as we were, the 5 minutes of planning we had before we started this, we're going to go for our favorite line and our favorite company of the year too, right?
Yep.
So you want to start that off, or you want me to throw out the big surprise of what I'm going to pick?
I'll start it off just because it segues right from my top pick, in that my line of the year, I mean, I guess maybe you could argue that it's multiple lines, but it's NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line or lines. If I was going to go like with one like source material, I would say it's probably my favorite this year has been the cartoon line, because it's just exploded in terms of the character selection and the amount of figures that we've gotten. It's been challenging because of the Target thing. I mean, there's no ignoring that. Right. So I definitely acknowledge that. And as I've said, I wouldn't have some of these without some help from Dustin and some other people. But Masters of the Universe and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, my two big lines from when I was a kid, and the fact that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is exploding now with so many things, giving me pretty much every source material that I want in action figure form, and the quantity that NECA brought, even in a pandemic year where they really didn't even get started until July as far as the releases go. It's been a heck of a run, and I can't wait for next year, especially after talking to Trevor the other day. So yeah, the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that's my line of the year,
which is no surprise. We've talked about this before on here, in person, everything else. Turtles would be your main line. Just as I've always said that if I was forced to go just down to a certain property, just one, if I had to pick, it would be Star Wars. So in that vein, I have to go with Hasbro Star Wars Black Series, because even though they're changing up articulation, and it may be a gripe for some, for me, what they put out this year, it's just filling the shelves up. I mean, it's more Star Wars goodness. They have the photo real kick in. It's gotten a little shiny in the past few waves, but some dull coat I go on. I don't think too much about it because of everything else I'm getting for $20 or $25, depending on the exclusive or regular release.
I love it too. I wish they would get stuff out faster.
That's it. With Star Wars, it's a bit slower, but what they give me, I like a lot more. It's unique sculpts usually. Most of the figures in the wave, or if it is reuse, they change it up a bit. Stormtroopers, clone troopers, just that's my bread and butter.
And the new packaging, I think the new
Oh,
packaging is slick as hell.
so colorful. If I if I were a millionaire, I would be buying, you know, loose for the shelf, but I'd be stacking some boxes too, like
Yeah.
carded or
Just even like the spine, showing the spines in the
Yeah.
different colors. So cool.
What's your top company for the year?
So my top company for the year this year goes to Super 7, actually.
Ah, yeah.
And I'll tell you, it's been a long time coming. The Ultimates are finally clicking. They're releasing. It's been so diverse with guys like Toxie, Ninja Turtles, Thundercats, Disney has been added to it, and Andre the Giant. There's just a whole lot of different things in that build that I really enjoy. Snake Mountain came out this year. Spoiler alert, which to me was the crowning achievement of toy releases overall. All that said, they also get me to buy 3 3/4 figures, which I never do. But somehow, some of the stuff that they do, I love it. I love some of the reaction stuff. So it's been really fun diversifying with Ultimates, and you got to wait on them, but that's okay because you order them and then they're delivered and it's there. And when you get pieces like I said, like Bebop or Toxie, I mean, this guy made me want, and I want an entire Toxic Crusaders Ultimates line. Next year I think will be the real breakout because stuff will be releasing regularly. They'll be pre-ordering stuff regularly, and it's all going to be working like they were kind of building to. So props to Super 7 because I'm a fan and I can't wait to see what happens next.
I thought you were going to go for NECA, and then
is that close?
Yeah,
it was that close.
You went for the other turtle producer. At the moment. Well, to no one's surprise, my favorite, my top company for this year would be Hasbro, and it's not just because of Star Wars. It's Marvel Legends. I finally got my Ghostbusters set, even though that line seemed to just fall flat because the movie didn't get a chance, you know, to shine some spotlight on Ghostbusters. But I got the Ghostbusters team that I wanted. What else is there? There's G.I. Joe. I even got some Power Rangers here and there. When
those monster figures are awesome. Pumpkin Wrapper.
It's just so much good stuff. And it just keeps hammering away. And they say it's going to come out then. It comes out early. You can order it on Amazon. You go to GameStop. You have outlets. There's exclusives that kind of suck, but I don't know. The regular waves, the regular releases more than make up for it for me. That's the company I get most excited about. Hasbro, with their Fan First Fridays, there were a constant stream of information during a lot of this year. It was just something constantly new. They really hit their stride when San Diego was canceled, you know, and then, we got to do something, and then just kept going with it. I think that's pretty much all we wanted to say for this year-end wrap-up. I mean, we could have went 20. We could have went 30. Yeah. We could have went 40 apiece. And you're going to.
I'll save that for the front page, my friend.
Yeah, on the Fwoosh front page, you'll be doing your top 20. But I don't know. It's like picking children. That's today. Tomorrow, whole nother day, whole nother. I'll look at a different shelf and go, I should have picked that or this. Or as it is, as it stands, as of this recording, that's my top 5. That's our top 5.
Yeah. I don't have any misgivings. Like I said, I just wish we could have done more because there was so much good stuff.
Anything else? No. Yeah, we good to go.
I think we're this is the way to do it.
Your internet's giving out. It's like we're done. If you enjoyed this video, comment, like, subscribe, give us your top 5 down in the comments. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. Again, this is just our favorite stuff. This isn't like the best toys of 2020. So everybody, I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.